An absolute shockwave coming in the American financial system. And I wish I could say that this was clickbait, but it's not. In today's video, we're going to break down how America got downgraded and now banks are being downgraded. We're going to take you through the changing world order through facts, figures, numbers, logic. And I'm going to tell you to take a deep breath. From my family's heart to yours, I love you. And this is the greatest time in human history to transmute this chaos into light, love, and positivity to transform your family's life. If you want to be part of a like minded community of over 7,000 warriors worldwide since 2020, where we've helped each other transition in a like minded community called the Warrior Academy, the foundation is mind, body, and soul with the 5 pillars of wealth, where we teach you how we transitioned into this new financial system. We're not financial advisors. We are licensed insurance agents, and we help people with tax-free retirement through the insurance vehicle 7702. So a lot of description, right? In the description down below in this video, you can set up a free consultation with my insurance team, or you can jump right into the Warrior Academy if you're ready. So on YouTube, it's in the description. On social media, it's in my bio. We will never proactively DM you. Those are all scammers. We do not invest people's money. Use discernment. All right, so let's dive right into it. I do have to say that on every video now because I want to protect you guys with the risk of making my video look funky by saying, hey, listen, there's so many scammers out there. Use discernment. I will never DM you. I will never WhatsApp you. I won't communicate with you through video. You will understand that you're communicating with me. These scammers are now using AI technology, which is absolutely crazy. So use discernment. There is no get rich quick. All right, so let's dive into this. So what I want to say is they're making it very, very easy for a content creator. Very, very easy. Now, I have a very different perspective. Okay. What I do is I take chaos and I transmute it into light. So the darker it gets within the physical world, the more I transmute that into positive, actionable behaviors. Okay. So what I'm about to present to you can be very scary, but in the beginning is the end. Inaction is action. There's so many things you can be doing right now on the back end of this video. I'll share with you exactly what I'm doing. Okay. I'm not going to bullshit you exactly what I'm doing, but you need to understand there is no get rich quick. Rich parents have rich kids. Poor parents have poor kids. You have to rewire the foundation to end up in a new situation. So what I reported to you guys last couple days was that Fitch cuts U.S. credit rating to AA plus. Treasury calls it arbitrary, right? So Janet Yellen comes on. President Biden pushes back and says, this is not correct. The numbers are not correct. This is the perceived value of America. So America got downgraded that I've already reported to you. And then my CFO sent this to me yesterday, okay? Moody's downgrades U.S. banks, warns of possible cuts to major lenders. This is serious, family. This is very, very serious. So if we take ourselves from America and put it into a personal level, we keep getting downgraded from the country level down to the banking level. So Moody's cut the credit ratings for several small, mid-sized banks and warned it may downgrade a handful of major Wall Street lenders. The agency said late Monday it lowered the ratings of 10 banks by one notch amid the currents of high interest rates, rising funding costs, and increased risk from the commercial real estate sector. Among the firms that were ratings was M&T Bank, Pinnacle Financial, BOK Financial, Webster Financial, Old National Bank Corp, and Fulton Financial. U.S. banks continue to contend with interest rates. So what happened was in the beginning of this year, and I've been preaching to you guys for almost a year now, since June last year, as interest rates go up, it completely and radically destroys the economy. So we had Janet Yellen, the head of the Treasury, coming on and say, "Oh, don't worry, this is bullshit." No, it's not. You literally cut off the money supply. The M2, you stopped the flow of money. You stopped the printing. You raised interest rates. You brought in FedNow services. You're moving the middle class down to the working poor. Technology is taking over. AI is taking over. Family, this is a transition in a financial system. Problem, reaction, solution. Okay, so let's dive into what I presented to you guys over and over again. Please dive into Ray Dalio's Changing World Order. We're in 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 in the cycle. So what I shared with you guys, poor leadership, over leveraged. Then we go into civil war and then global conflict. After global conflict, there's a major transition in a financial system and innovation. This is what's happening right now in America. So Biden, I reported this in July, Biden direct 345 million, in weapons for Taiwan. What I want you to prepare for mentally, and I need you to transmute this energy. You need to stay away from darkness. Transmute the darkness to light. When you see all the chaos going on, go focus on exercise, nutrition, family values, God, whatever you believe in God. I believe in God. I'm building family structure. I'm building systems. I'm building discipline. I'm building consistency. My kids and I are eating healthier. We're learning more foundational things for our family. We're spending more time with our family. F everything going on in the physical world, guys. Transmute this energy, okay? But you're not going to stop this freight train. So what we're going to head into now is, this is what I believe. This is my belief system, is that just like we sent a bunch of weapons over to Ukraine, okay? Russia invaded Ukraine. I put this all on my YouTube channel over the past couple of years. So Russia invaded Ukraine. We supported Ukraine. Biden immediately took them off the SWIFT system. That was the financial narrative there, okay? So China and Russia got together with the BRICS countries, and they're working to de-dollarize, okay? Then from there to now, the US dollar is starting to lose its dominance. The US raised interest rates, cutting off the money supply, which slows down the movement of cash. FedNow services came in. They're changing the financial system to blockchain technology, on-demand liquidity. Eventually, US will lose its dominant superpower, and then we'll transition into a bag of currencies, and central bank digital currencies will rule the world. I am very comfortable saying that, not in the fact that I support that. I'm just telling you what is happening. You can't fight this enemy. The president of the United States does not decide what the financial system does, unfortunately, guys. Janet Yellen is just reading off a piece of paper. So what can you do? At the back in this video, I'm going to share with you what I'm doing. I don't know if it'll work for you, but it's worked dramatically for me in the past 4 years. So let's check this out.
Institute senior fellow, conducting a joint naval operation bringing 11 ships near the coast of Alaska last week. The U.S. mobilizing 4 destroyers and patrol planes in response to guide the ships away from U.S. waters. The Wall Street Journal editorial board writing, quote, "The naval patrol is best understood as a warning that U.S. territory isn't safe, as well as a test of how the U.S. will respond. The world is getting more dangerous, and a complacent U.S. political class isn't educating the public about the growing threats." Joining me now, Gatestone Institute senior fellow and author of The Coming Collapse of China and the Great U.S.-China Tech War, Gordon Chang. Gordon, it's great to see you, and I think the editorial board at the Wall Street Journal summed it up pretty nicely there.
Well, certainly, because we have to assume that if there's going to be a war in Asia, and Henry Kissinger tells us it's probable, then we're going to be facing not just China, but also China's friends, specifically Russia and North Korea.
Okay, so I want you to hear that. So the narrative, right, is the BRICS countries are working to de-dollarize. But at the same time, this is where I'm going to take a turn with this, and I just want to put on our logical circuit, okay? This is why I don't follow left or right or up or down. I follow God as my present CEO, and I follow discernment. And I've been right quite a bit with my own investments, right, based on what I'm doing and with my family. Okay. So this is important to understand. So supposedly America's against China and Russia. But at the same time, BlackRock is investing heavily in China. So China awards BlackRock first RQF2 license in the US. Hong Kong, December 15th. This is 2016. In 2017, Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock, said that Bitcoin is junk. But now in 2023, they're investing in the Bitcoin ETF, or they're developing a Bitcoin ETF. And then all of a sudden, the narrative comes in where BlackRock MSCI in 2023 draws scrutiny from the U.S. House Committee on China. This was on August 1st. The U.S. Congressional Committee in China investigating asset manager giant BlackRock, okay, saying that they were facilitating investments into blacklisted Chinese companies, underscoring how tense relations between the two countries are rippling through America. Okay. And I want to share this with you guys. It says, "In Fink we trust." I've shared this with you guys many times. BlackRock is now the 4th branch of the government. We, the Fed, look for bond buying help in the crisis, in turn to the giant money manager. So twice the Federal Reserve tapped BlackRock. In 2008, they tapped BlackRock to balance out the bond market, or balance out the markets. And then in 2020, during the pandemic, they picked BlackRock. So The Feds picked BlackRock to balance out the markets, the largest asset manager in the world. The largest asset manager in the world is supposedly in bed with China, but we're going to war with China. And if they invade Taiwan, a small little country where we have all our semiconductors, we're sending weapons over there. But wait a minute. When you go into war, it creates monetary gain. And when you change monetary gain, you start to increase the flow of money. And when people can't get jobs and the middle class gets moved down to the working poor, you'll bring out a stimulus check through a central bank digital currency. So is it by chance that FedNow Services launched about a year after Ukraine or Russia invaded Ukraine, and we sent money over to Ukraine and we cut them off the SWIFT system, and then we implemented the FedNow Services system? I don't know. You'll have to check that out. And is it interesting that the lower banks are being downgraded and then JP Morgan monopolized First Republic? Seems like 1929 again to me, guys. Seems like there's an interesting thing happening like 1929 in the Great Depression, when there was 8,000 banks part of the Federal Reserve and there was 16,000 outside of the Federal Reserve. So all I know is this is information. This is information. Now, knowledge is not power. Knowledge enacted upon is power. So here's what I did in 2020 and where I'm at in 2024. And I'll share with you what I'm going to do in the future. So I call 2023, what I call 2024 to 2025 is a generational wealth building cycle. So in 2020, I had lost everything. I'm going to be completely transparent. I've been transparent about this a million times, right? I was on my parents' couch in 2020, going in 2019 and 2020. I had a good crypto portfolio. I did not touch my crypto portfolio because I knew this moment was coming. So what I realized is I was deeply indoctrinated into an old, impoverished system, because I got to hear the conversation between my parents. There's no investing advice. There's no, I've been in the same house since 1970. Nothing wrong with that, but very industrial, financial, no talk about investments. It's go to school, get a job, get a 401k or a pension. And I realized I kept going broke because I didn't understand how money actually worked, how money flowed through the system. So I made it my obsession to understand how money actually flows through the system and why 1% of the population owns 97% of the wealth. So I obsessed over the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I moved myself from the left side of the cash flow quadrant to the right side. I no longer work for money. I trade time. I use money to free up time. So I moved through that cash flow quadrant. Now I scaled my businesses where I'm just in meetings. Every time money comes in, I richest man in Babylon it. I multiply my money. Well, I realized too, through wise counsel and coaching and mentorships, that I was in the same system, that I had a company, scaled it up, and then I was in crypto. But what if crypto failed, which it did from 2021 to 2022? So I diversified. So I have crypto, I have IUL, Index Universal Life, so much that 3 years later I got licensed and I teach people how to do the same thing. My team does. Index Universal Life for my tax-free retirement. I got into precious metals. I diversified in business. I have equity in 9 companies now across information, technology, and data. Okay. Then now we're getting to real estate because now our income has increased pretty dramatically from 2020 to 2023. And now I need tax liabilities. And what we believe is going to happen is people are going to start to consolidate into a vertical, which is like apartments. And next year, we're going to be looking at getting in multifamily. Okay. So this is what's worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but what I did in the beginning was I got really, really serious about my finances. I created a budget. I cut out all frivolous spending. I took every bit of income that I had and I put it into the capital markets. I put it in a speculative asset called crypto. I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying never invest more than you can afford to lose. But what I did is I created cash flow. When I was broke, I went to follow the Gary Vee strategy and I started buying things or getting things free off Facebook and I started flipping them. I made 20 bucks here, 10 bucks here. I turned 1,000 into 10,000, 10,000 into 6 figures, and the rest is history. So now what I'm going to be doing is getting into a generational wealth building cycle. So as we go into 2024 and 2025, I've been stacking my bags in cryptocurrency, a very speculative asset. That's not my retirement. It's very speculative. So in 2024, when the Bitcoin halving happens, it's going to start to go parabolic, okay? Cryptocurrency. I'm going to be exiting 50% of my portfolio on the way up because when it peaks and when everybody starts coming in, the exchange is shut down and you will not be able to pull profits and you'll come sliding down the back end. So by the time you come sliding down the back end, I've already pulled probably 4 times on the way up 50% of my portfolio. When I pull that 50%, I'll have cash on the sidelines. I'll have some to buy back in. I'll be structuring policies correctly. Like it's very strategic on how you need to structure Index Universal Life. So I'll be setting up some more money for retirement. I'll be getting more precious metals. I'll be working to get into real estate and I'll be investing more into companies. So the whole goal is to be inside of an asset bubble. The whole goal is to use your money to put it into assets that produce cash streams. Okay. That's your key. Poor people put money in the bank and save it in a fixed account, and the bank puts it out into that's why they're failing right now, guys. Your money is decreasing. It's cheap. It's more expensive for you to borrow. So they make money in interest income, fee income, and capital markets income. So you put your hard-earned money in there and they index it and they put it in the capital markets and they make money. So we just do the same thing with our money. We're just putting in the capital markets, we're indexing it, and we're allowing our money to grow. You can do the same thing. That's why I tell this story, so you can see yourself in me. I was on my parents' couch 4 years ago. 4 years ago. But I finally woke up that if I stay in the same situation or I don't rewire the foundation, I'll be in the same situation. It doesn't matter how much money you make in crypto. If you do not rewire the foundation, you will end up broke, because you'll buy Lambos and houses and all these cars that you can't afford. And you'll realize that you did nothing with the money to multiply it and give back to society. Money is a frequency. It's an energy. It's a vibration. And if you're disconnected from your nervous system, they can move you any way they want. So I hope this information reaches you well. I love you with all my heart. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. Love you guys. And all the support you need is description down below or in the link here on our social media platforms, Education Academy, and free consultation with my Index Universal Life team, our wealth protection team. We have many different options to help you with tax-free retirement and to secure and multiply your wealth. Talk to you soon.